Hello, I'm so glad that you have joined me today. My name is Linda Katherine Smith Jones. I am the author of Phonetic Reading with Silent Elephant E. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am an elementary teacher. I taught in the classroom for 36 years, and I've been retired for 11 now. And I've been tutoring children with learning differences, mostly with learning differences, some without, and for the past 10 years, and I truly love it. Today, I want to tell you about my reading program that I wrote that's called Phonetic Reading with Silent Elephant E. It is a phonemic awareness program and a phonics program for all learners of any age, preschoolers to adults. And today I'm talking to you about the origin of my program. How did it all begin? So I'm so excited that you're here with me today so I can share this with you. I know that you as educator, when using Silent Elephant E to teach your children, will see how quickly and easily they will learn the way they love to learn. You'll have so much fun teaching them, and they'll have so much fun learning. You will be able to help your children, with or without learning differences, become successful readers, writers, and spellers. You and I want all of our kiddos, your children and my kids that I tutor, to develop a positive self-concept, completely believing in themselves as awesome, capable, successful learners. So now on to the origin of Silent Elephant E. I have always had a passion for teaching children with learning differences. Leaving a child behind never occurred to me until that act was passed by Congress. I never thought of that. I've always wanted to help every single one of my students learn. However, that desire became even stronger and more personal 34 years ago when I first discovered that my own daughter is dyslexic. When my daughter was 3, I began noticing she was having directionality difficulties in her drawings. And one day she drew a picture of our family. She was outside sitting underneath our big shade tree that she loves, and I was gardening, and suddenly she popped up and came running across the yard going, "Mommy, Mommy, look at the picture I drew. I just drew a picture of our family. I drew the very first picture of our family." I said, "Oh, let me see it, hon." And so she showed it to me, and I was so surprised. And I said, "Well, tell me about your picture." And she said, "Well, here's you, Mommy, and here's Daddy, here's Scott, that's her big brother, and here's me." And I said, "Well, how are we feeling?" And she goes, "Well, we're all happy." I said, "Well, how do you know?" She said, "Look at our big smiles." And I hugged her, I pulled her close to me, and I told her I just loved her picture and how beautiful it was, and could we please put it on the refrigerator so we could all enjoy it. She goes, yeah, that would be great. You know, she was all excited. And then she says, "Mommy, I'm going to draw some more pictures." And she started skipping happily across the yard back to sit underneath her shade tree. And my thoughts began to spin. My husband is dyslexic. He was retained in 3rd grade. He struggled through school. I felt a little scared because now I knew that my little girl was facing many challenges that she would have to overcome, because she had actually not drawn smiles on us. She had drawn frowns. How was I going to help her? At that time, I had already taught elementary education for 12 years, and I had my master's degree for 9 of those years. And I did as any fledgling teacher would do. I read lots and lots of books. I attended many workshops, and I sought the advice from my colleagues on how to best teach reading, writing, and spelling to help all of my struggling learners. Some of the ideas were very helpful, but I still felt frustrated with my own incompetence to successfully meet the needs of all of my students, especially those little ones that were struggling to learn to read, write, and spell. No matter how many techniques I tried, no matter how much recess time I volunteered really to them to try to help them, no matter how many hours I tutored after school those little kiddos for free, everything I did, I still was struggling to try to meet all their needs. I promised myself on that day, when I watched my daughter skipping away, that I would learn the best way to teach my daughter and any student, any child that was struggling to learn to read, write, and spell. Because I knew that she had a long, difficult road ahead of her. As I set about learning the best strategies to teach all people with learning differences, I thought to myself, I need to go right to the source. I need to ask my daughter, I need to ask my husband, I need to ask my students at school. I began asking questions such as these. What helps you learn to read, write, and spell? What did I do today that helped you learn? What did I do today that confused you or didn't help you learn? How could I teach differently to help you? I truly listened to all of their answers and took super good notes. And I began to notice a pattern. Everyone, not just my struggling learners, but everyone learned best and retained the information best when I taught using their whole body and their multisensory, all 5 senses. When I taught that way, everyone learned the best. I also realized that when I use those strategies, that everyone was having so much fun. I was having so much fun teaching. They were having so much fun learning. So my experience of raising my daughter, the research that I intently studied and I still do today, and my diligence of continually asking questions and carefully listening to their answers guided my writing to phonetic reading with silent elephant E. It truly is an outstanding language-based program meeting the needs for a precisely organized phonemic awareness and phonics program that all children will develop automaticity and fluency in reading. I would really like to recommend another excellent book about dyslexia. You may or may not have dyslexia, or your children may not, but there's a lot of awesome ideas in this book about helping anyone with any type of learning differences. So this book is called Overcoming Dyslexia by Sally Shaywitz. I'll spell her last name is Shaywitz. So Overcoming Dyslexia by Sally Shaywitz. She has recently published the 2nd edition, updated book of her 1st edition. You will learn what dyslexia is and how it affects 20% of our population. 1 in 5 people have dyslexia, and how to help you and or your children learn. She has lots of teaching ideas in here, lots of research. It's an excellent book. Your success as an educator is extremely important to me. I would love to share Silent Elephant E's entire reading program with you, starting with part 1, because my reading program proves that if you use my program an hour and a half to 2 hours a week, that's all you have to use it for. You can use it more. That children will advance 1 full grade level in 2 months. That's my average, and I tutor children with all kinds of learning differences. An hour and a half to 2 hours a week, a child will advance 1 full grade level in just 2 months. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please email me at, and of course it's the title of my book, Silent Elephant E, all lowercase, @gmail.com. So if you would like to visit over the phone with me, I would love to visit with you too. Just let me know when would be a good time to call you, and I will call you whenever I'm not tutoring. Please visit my website to view the whole program. It's at, again, silentelephante.com. I hope you'll enjoy reading many of the testimonials while you're visiting my website. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.